couple years down the road, you hear the dull thud of your car door closing behind you. You wrap your hands around the white hot steering wheel. It's been baking in the Texas summer sun.
Jeez.
You go, oh fuck. You're just parked in a spot where the sun was just blasting your car
Oh
for
man.
hours. Hmm. You kind of, you turn the car on, you blast the AC as cold as you can go, as fast as it'll go. And you just kind of like don't touch anything. You pull up your phone and you open your app and you start looking for a ride. Because you're driving Uber in Austin
Oh,
or doing
okay.
like ride share, right?
I'm the one providing the ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
You're driving.
Okay. That's
You're
interesting.
yeah, it's something that you kind of just fell into. Um
What?
yeah, you were looking for a few extra bucks and you're like, I'll just give this a shot. And then you found that really there was like a whole community behind it. And you just kind of like fell into the community of Austin rideshare drivers.
The rideshare community?
Yeah,
What's it like?
you it is competitive. It is there are some people who are very cutthroat, but other people are more gracious and more generous, and there's a lot of people who are like, "Hey, I drive for like maybe 5, 6 hours a week." And it's just like fuck around money for me. There are other people who are like, I get up at 4 in the morning and I am on the road until 8 at night. Like there are those people.
Oh, okay. Is there like a divide between the two?
Yeah, the people who do it more will, as you can imagine, have like a lesser opinion of those who are weekend warriors, as they call them.
Ugh. Ugh.
They call them the WWs and all of the that's like their abbreviation for them. And all the like fucking Facebook groups and everything. Somebody will like go in and ask like a very stupid new person question, and like all these people will just comment, we got a WW here, you know.
That's, that
They
is
make their presence
so
known.
shitty and gatekeepery. And for ride shares, that is the worst.
Yeah.
That is so
There's
lame.
the Austin rideshare driver community Facebook group is the largest one on Facebook. There's like a group of guys who are like in that group that have like profile pictures of them like holding their fists up and they're wearing fingerless gloves.
What?
Yeah. That's like how they like run that fucking group with a leather clad finger free fist.
Jesus. Why are they so like dramatic about it?
Because they're like they get to do a lot of soapboxing all the time, that this is like vital to the community and it's an
Oh
alternative to
man.
lacking public transit. It creates jobs and upward mobility that you can, achieve on your own schedule, be your own boss, all that shit. And then there's you, all the WW crew who come in and take like the sweetest peaches of the week. That's what they call them. The best paying, shortest jobs in town, the easiest drives that pay the most. They call them the sweetest peaches of the week. And every week, people will post like receipts of like their sweetest peach in like a thread. They
Yeah.
call it the sweet peach tree. And it's every Monday morning. And so one of the admins from the Fingerless Glove League, he'll post like, "Hey guys, show us your juiciest peach from the weekend." And people just like in the comment threads will like, post their peaches, and then there's like a poll later on that day, and there's like people review it and statistically find like what's the juiciest peach of the weekend, and then there's like a whole post and like an interview with that person.
Okay.
So you're like deep in this thing, and your peaches haven't been anywhere near big enough, to claim like the recognition that you so badly crave in this Facebook group, in this community.
Man,
So you're always just waiting on the juiciest peach to fall from the tree. That's what you say as you drive around town in fucking gridlock. You think this next one could be the juiciest peach I've ever had.
that is really strange. This sounds
Yeah.
a lot like the stand-up comedy community.
You find that there are a lot of similarities, you know. There's a lot of predators out there, right?
Jeez.
Like there's a lot of guys that like hit on new women who do it, you know,
Okay.
right? A lot of them gather at shitty coffee shops. There's a coffee shop in Austin called The Dispatch, and it's like uh
Yeah. The
it's like
dispatch.
a yeah, it's like it looks like the set from the television show Taxi, right? And there's like little instead of like the dispatcher's office, that's where you walk up and the barista's like behind a cage, you know? And
Yeah.
there's like little tables and chairs and couches and stuff you can sit on.
Okay.
They have a they have a what's his name, an Andy Kaufman lookalike just on standby, you know?
On standby?
So yeah. So when they feel like the place needs a little spice, they'll bring in the Andy Kaufman stand-in and he'll like walk around and look like Andy Kaufman from the show Taxi. And it really adds to the ambiance. You know, it gets people
Latka.
talking, it gets the energy up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a lot of these guys will go and like meet at the dispatch, right?
So I
They'll
like
order from
hang out there.
coffee. Oh yeah. You
That's
started hanging
weird.
out there.
Do I bring any of like my regular friends there or
Oh, absolutely not. They're not allowed.
really?
The dispatch is like pretty much a rideshare community driver bar. If you like don't work in that community, they will serve you, but they will not do it with a smile, and you will not really be welcome.
Oh, wow.
So, you're kind of like you're
That is
you're uh
weird.
you're getting in there, right?
Okay.
You're working your way in. You're more active on the Facebook group, right? You start showing up to the dispatch, and there'll be like four or five guys sitting around drinking a cup of cold coffee, and their phone will buzz, and they'll just bolt for the fucking door. They don't even say goodbye. Everybody raises their drink, and they all say farewell, friend. And then somebody else comes and sits at the table and tries to finish that cup of coffee before they get a job.
Wow.
One of these days, you think you're going to get to that table. One of these days, when you sit in the dispatch against like a dark corner, just trying to hide yourself from the gaze of all the seasoned rideshare drivers, you think someday I'll get at that table.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
So you've been working really hard, right? Waiting on that juicy peach. You're driving around one day. It's uh it's a Saturday, 8 p.m. Like the busiest time of the whole weekend for you guys. This is when you make your fucking money.
Yeah.
You get a you get an alert on your phone for a job that comes through. You're gonna pick somebody up in Allendale, and you're gonna take them uh out to like Dripping Springs. And normally you're like, that's a long fucking drive, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That's
really
like a
far.
long ass drive. But you see the payout on it is like $400.
That's a sweet peach.
And you think that's yourself as you lick those lips. You think that's gonna be in the running for the sweetest peach of the week.
All right. I'm picking that peach.
You put your phone back into its cradle You hit the accept ride button, and it navigates you to just like a residence in Allendale in Austin. So you're up like North Austin, right? And you pull up to this small ranch house on a quiet suburb street. You see a man walk out of the house. He locks the door behind him. He's wearing a silver suit. He's got on a white button up shirt. Top two buttons are open. His hair is kind of swept backwards. It's dirty blonde. You see he's got a big pinky ring on his left finger.
Yeah.
He gets into your car, and you kind of look up in the rear view and you lock eyes with him and you go, "Hey, are you Sal?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's me." He goes, "You Pat?" You're like, "Yeah, that's me." He goes, "Nice to meet you." And he closes the door. So it's going to take you, it's quite a drive, getting out that far. You've got a little music on. What kind of music would you play if you were an Uber driver?
This is like an older dude, kind of.
No, probably in his 30s,
Oh, okay.
maybe into
Um,
his 40s. But he does look good. You get the impression that he might be older than he looks, but he looks fucking good for his age. I'll say
he's
that.
wearing he's wearing a silver suit. I play, you know, I think I play some jazz. This guy seems like he'd appreciate some jazz. Yeah,
What do
I
you
would
play?
play. Um,
You actually look in the mirror, you go, "Hey, do you like jazz?" And he goes, "Man, I fucking love jazz." And your
oh, I
phone
know what to
slips and
play.
you put on a Boney James record.
What?
Yeah, it's a Boney James record. It's like a very sexual jazz. He's like a jazz saxophone. It's like a very sensual, like every one of his
Oh,
albums is like titled like The Lover, or something like that. And there's like a half
okay.
naked woman with like a
Uh,
guitar over her vagina.
that's what I play.
Yeah. And he
Oh,
kind of
there's
looks
so
at
many
you.
better ones.
Yeah, he kind of like looks up and he laughs. He goes, "Very funny."
Okay, I put on. Okay, there's a really good one. It's called it's called Alone Together, and it's guitar player and a bass player. I'm blanking. Jim Hall, I think, is the guitarist, and I believe the bass player is Ron Carter. Yeah, I play that record.
You go to play Alone Together, but you accidentally play Blown Together by Boney
No, come
James.
on.
And
How
it
does this
starts
keep
out
happening?
it starts out with just the sounds of suction and wet on wet and breathy pants between two lovers.
Oh my God. Okay, I would change this immediately. I would realize what happened.
You try to, but your phone is like kind of stuck. It's like it's like,
What?
yeah, you dropped it in a bucket of Kool-Aid earlier that day and then you
Oh
just gotta
man.
work
What flavor?
it. uh it's called Blueberry Punch.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I just turn the music off and I go,
And you go,
uh,
I'm sorry, I dropped my phone in Blueberry Punch today. And the guy's like, "What?" And you go to turn off the radio, but some Blueberry Punch had like poured out of your phone onto the dial and it's
oh
also not
no.
working. You can't
No.
turn it off.
Oh
And you're like, "I'm
man.
sorry, some Blueberry Punch leaked onto my radio and it's not working."
It's
So
nothing but else.
you guys sit there for the entire drive out to Dripping Springs listening to the nastiest Boney James tracks that are out there.
Okay. Oh man. That is
There's a
really
JOI track on one of his albums.
Oh, come on. What is this can't become a recurring bit.
Yeah, one of the albums. It's a hidden track.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's
It does
like
a JOI.
it's a 65-minute track And
Oh my God.
the first song is like 4.5 minutes. It's called Built to Love You. And it's sort of like a rhythmic pounding bass line,
Oh, jeez.
you know? And it's very sensual. It's like 4.5 minutes, and then there's like 6 minutes of silence, and then there's like over 50 minutes of JOI from Boney James.
All right.
He does like several different scenarios where he's like, all right, this one, I'm your teacher, right? And
Oh,
he like comes in, he's like, we need to talk about your grades, miss, you
we
know,
no, we do not.
right?
Ah,
And then there's another one where he's like, I'm your local fishmonger, you know,
don't need to know. Don't need to know any of
right?
this.
Yeah. And he's like, you hear him like, you hear like the slap of like a Chilean sea bass on a cutting board, and you hear he's like, what'll it be, miss? You know? And then they talk about fish prices for about 3 minutes before
This is
well,
the worst.
there's like a whole riff in the middle of the JOI about sustainability. Um, so
So
he's
this
not
is
a guy
just
without causes, you know.
this is just the most uncomfortable ride share of all time.
And there is blueberry punch all over your radio, dude.
Oh no.
You spend a long time in the car. You guys get to like the very end of the JOI, and Boney James like finishes, and
Oh,
then it moves on to like the next the next album, which was Boys to Men.
all
And
right.
so you guys listen to like Motown Philly and stuff like. So like as you like get ready, Boys to Men comes on, and there is an audible sigh of relief from the back seat,
Yeah.
and you hear under his breath he says, "Thank God," and you're
How
like,
long
"Yeah,
is
man, I'm really sorry."
how long is this trip?
Oh, it's over an hour.
Oh my
So
God.
you you navigate to like where he's going. You're kind of like it's out in hill country, so it's like rural in a sense. You're kind of winding along like a state highway. You take a turn down like a farm road. You kind of like wind your way back into a wooded area, and you come across like a compound looking thing. It's like a big fenced
Whoa.
area. There's a there's a guy out. There's like a Jeep parked right out front. There's like a set of swinging gates. There's a guy standing there, clearly like a security guard of some kind.
What is this about?
You kind of pull up on the place, and yeah, you ask, you're like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, yeah, we're gonna go in. I got to do a little business, and then we'll come right back out, and we'll just go back into town. So he's like, you're gonna get paid for two rides. He
Okay.
says, or we can. He goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, we'll just keep it on one ride. That way I pay you for your time while you're here. I want to make sure I do this right. So then you're thinking about it, and it's like that's going to be like an $800 ride, and that will for sure be the fucking juiciest peach of the whole weekend, maybe the whole
That's
quarter, maybe even the whole year.
whoa. All
You
right.
might win the coveted Golden Peach Award at the awards ceremony in October.
There's a ceremony.
Yeah, the whole Austin rideshare community gets together. They have a driver of the year. They do like a whole there's like a 50-50 raffle for the number of miles traveled within the city of Austin for the entire group, right? And they do a 50-50 raffle, and whoever gets closest to the mileage wins. There's a silent auction, which hasn't always gone well, but they still do it. So yeah, there's like a lot of shit that happens at the award ceremony.
Wow.
And you think that this $800 ride could be the one that gives you that golden peach trophy. So the guy kind of looks at you and he goes, "Are we good here?" He
Yeah,
goes,
I
"I'll
think
be in
I
there. I'll be in there for 10." He goes, "We'll be in there for 10 minutes and then we're turning around and going home."
okay. I mean, it's gonna be like it's gonna be like $800.
He was like, no. He goes, it's gonna be 1,000. And he throws $200 cash. He like holds it out to you.
Whoa.
He goes, give me 10 minutes inside and we'll turn right back around. And he goes, we'll even stop and get something to eat along the way. My treat. Whatever you want.
Okay. Whatever. Sure. Okay, of course. I'm gonna do this.
He goes, great. You guys kind of like pull up to the gate. He motions the security guard. He goes, hey, it's, can you tell Michael that, Jacques Ferrari is here?
Shock Ferrari.
Yeah, Jacques Ferrari.
Oh man.
The security guard gets on his he gets on his fucking walkie-talkie and he goes, hey boss, we got a Jacques Ferrari here. And he kind of like listens and then he goes, all right. And he gives a signal and the fucking gates open up. The guy goes, pull in, park your car, turn it off. You're like, okay, right? Jacques, since he pats you on the back, he goes, I'll be less than 10 minutes.
Is the
He
Boys to
goes, think
Men still
about,
playing?
yeah, absolutely. Motown feelings back again. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, that was like my favorite Boys to Men song. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know if I have one.
a lot of hits. They're the air supply of our generation. So, you're like waiting there in the car, right? Put it in park, turn it off. Jacques Ferrari steps out of the back seat, walks over to a corrugated steel stairwell. You hear the clang of his Italian loafers with each step. You see him go up into an office at the top of the second floor. Silhouettes of two men in the open window. One of them clearly Jacques, the other one like another military looking guy. He's got on a fucking hat, like a squared off hat.
Okay.
You uh you see Jacques pulls a pistol from his suit pocket and he's kind of like looking at it, he's turning it around. The uh the other man grabs it, he kind of holds it in his hand, right? Checks everything out, right? Takes the magazine out. He kind of like spins it in his hand and like puts it in a holster on his side. You see Jacques kind of react like, "Oh fuck, that was cool." And then they he like the military guy nods, they shake hands, and then they have like a soft moment together where they kind of like give each other a hug. A pat on the back and the door opens. Jacques bounds down the stairwell again. He gets into the car. Security guard tells you you can turn it on. He says, back up, hit it, put it in reverse, do not pull forward. You're like, okay, whatever. So you
All
back
right.
out, right? They close the gates behind you guys. You turn around and you head down the driveway, heading back into Austin. You you had like you had like paused, the music, right? Boys to Men. So there's like nothing, like playing.
All right.
Your phone's like being fucking weird, right? Because of all the blueberry punch. You hang a left onto the surface street that'll lead you to the rural highway that'll eventually take you back to it's like 290,
Yeah. Okay.
and then Mopac or whatever, however you choose to get home. I'm not sure how it would route you at that time of day. But you say anything? You guys
No.
leave.
No. I say nothing. I don't
You
ask
kind
him
of
a
ride in
goddamn
complete
question
silence.
because I don't know what
Jacques
just
says,
happened, but it was something, and I don't
after
want to
like
know.
a after like a little bit of tense silence, Jacques goes, You got any more fuck stories for me on the radio there, pal?
I got boys to men.
He goes, hit it.
I
You go to
do.
press play, but you hit a pothole and you hit the reverse button and it starts the Bodie James catalog over again.
No!
Yeah.
God damn it.
The first track that comes up is one called uh Better When You're Wetter. And it opens with like a saxophone, like you hear a howl of a wolf.
Oh man.
Oh,
Wolf.
oh, oh. You
On the
hear like
record
feet.
or I hear it
No, on the record.
outside? Okay,
You hear the
good.
crunch. You hear the crunching of leaves, and then you hear a voice go, "This is Boney James," and then he
Oh
just
God.
rips into this sweet, syrupy, sensual sax solo.
Ugh.
So Jacques kind of laughs, right? He goes, "Okay, this again." He goes, like the first time it was funny, but this might be a little much." He kind of
Jack, I'm
laughs.
sorry. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on today. It's such a strange day. I don't know why this keeps happening.
He
It
goes,
was
Today was a great day."
all right.
He goes, "Today I made the deal of a lifetime." He goes, "Do you mind?" And he pulls a joint from his fucking jacket, cracks the back window.
Fuck it. Go right ahead, Jock.
He lights up a fucking joint. It smells fantastic, right?
Yeah.
He kind of like holds it up to you. He goes, "Do you want some?"
No,
He
I'm on the
goes,
job.
he pulls another one out of his pocket. He drops it in the passenger seat. He goes, "That's for later then. Another token of my appreciation for a job well done."
Thank you.
He kind of laughs, right? You kind of like ride for a moment while that Boney James is ripping, and you kind of like occasionally look up. You guys lock eyes, and he goes, "You want to know what happened, don't you?"
I don't. The less I know about everything, the better. Leave me. I don't need to know.
He kind of chuckles. He goes, "It's no big deal." He goes, "I'm an arms dealer."
What the fuck, dude?
He goes, "Don't worry about it." He goes, "I'm selling to the US government. It's okay."
Okay, whatever.
He
That's
goes,
so strange.
we just put 10,000 pistols into Afghanistan.
Well,
You know how many
great.
millions of rounds we're sending around the world every day? He kind of laughs. He goes, "And the taxpayers, they're on the hook for every penny of it."
Ah,
Kind of
man.
laughs.
I liked this guy until fuck.
You aren't even looking and you just like run a red light, you know?
Yeah.
You run a red light, you see the flash of like the camera and you go, "Oh fuck, now I'm gonna have to pay this fucking ticket." He goes, "Give me your Venmo. I'll send you the money for it when the bill comes in." He kind of pats you on the back. He goes, "I got you, Pat."
At
You
Pat Dean Rules is my Venmo.
officially. So you driving back to that sleepy little bungalow in Allendale. He gets out of the car. He throws two more $100 bills in the front seat. He goes, "Couldn't have done this without you, Pat.
All
It was
right.
nice meeting you."
Nice to meet you. Thanks for the money.
He goes, "What else am I good for?" And he laughs and walks inside.
What?
Yeah. You you go home. You see that the ride gets closed out at $815.
Plus that
And then
400 bucks
he
on
left
top
a
of that.
$200 tip in the app itself.
Jeez.
So there's no cash tips don't take into Juiciest Peach.
Okay.
It's got to be electronically verified. But this is over $1,000 trip,
Yeah,
and
that's
nobody
so
has hit the 1K club on a single ride in the last year and a half. So you're feeling pretty good about this golden peach sitting in your aching arms.
they ache.
Because that trophy's so fucking heavy. That's why.
Oh my
It's a
gosh.
big
All
ass
right.
trophy. It's a 4 foot tall trophy with a big ass peach at the center of it. So you go home, you submit your juiciest peach, you say, "Hey guys, beat this." And it's immediately like it's blowing up, right? Everybody's commenting on it. They're like, "Holy shit, the 1K club," you know?
Yeah.
Like Pat's gonna take home the juiciest peach. People are
Wow.
very excited
Oh, that's cool.
because it's time for some fresh blood, has really revitalized the community. So you're like, seen as like a hero to most. So you submit, right? You win Peach of the Week. They do a feature on you, and it's like 2 weeks before the award ceremony, right? So you're getting in like just in time to count for this year.
Oh,
And
good.
nobody's beaten your juiciest peach. Nobody's had a better, more valuable ride than you so far. Like not even close. And with such limited time left, you're skeptical that anyone will. So the night of the ceremony comes, you put on your finest get up and you head down to the dispatch. There's probably 250 people there. You see a group of like four guys over in the corner wearing fingerless gloves, not
Oh
associating
shit.
with anybody.
Yeah.
The awards ceremony starts, right? Award ceremony starts, right? There's a whole build up. They do car of the year, they do how many miles, there's a 50-50 raffle, silent auction, all that stuff. You hang out, you eat so many little smokies. It's unreal. Maybe a pound and a half of them. At one point, you just pick the crock pot up and you're just walking around with it. You think somebody's like, Pat, what are you doing? And you go, what are they going to do? I'm winning the juiciest peach this year. They going to kick me out for eating wieners? And the guy's like, all right, Jesus, calm down. He goes, don't want to go to your head. And you kind of do let it go to your head a little bit. You walk around with a sense of superiority,
What?
just knowing that your award is imminent, that you have crushed the competition, that you had the juiciest peach all year long. So one of the moderators of the Facebook group, one of the fingerless glove men, he gets up there, he goes, all right, folks, it's time for the award we've all been waiting for. The juiciest peach of 2024. And he goes, I think we all know who it is. And everybody kind of chuckles, you kind of like look to your left and your right, like, yeah, it's me.
Ah,
The spot
man.
the spotlight hits you early before they even announce it. You look up, Ben Cholak is manning it.
What?
Ben's been running spotlights all over the state for a little while now.
Yeah, what is the story here? Why is he?
He's just running spotlights all over the state. He's wearing like blue dickies. He's wearing a white t-shirt. He's got a red bandana on and a
Holy
fucking
shit.
cigarette hanging from his lips.
I bet he looks cool as fuck.
He looks so fucking cool. He's like up
That's
in the
cool.
rafters. He's got his hands on the spotlight. You see the wisp of the smoke from his cigarette. It's kind of passed through,
Yeah.
the beam. They go, ladies and gentlemen, juiciest peach of the year, Pat Dean. Right? They play Shimmer from Fuel, and you like walk on stage, right? Uh, you stand there, right? You you grab a hold of the juiciest peach, right? And it's heavier than it looks. You
Yeah.
hold it in your hands and you see your own reflection in its shine. And you think, man, I spent hours in the car with that guy. Who knows what really happened? You're kind of like reliving the experience, right?
Yeah, it was odd.
Yeah, it was odd. The other thing that's odd is a man steps out from the back. He takes a jacket off and he's wearing a Chechen army uniform and he shoots you right between the
No.
eyes
What
with a
for?
gun that was sold to him by Jacques Ferrari. It was
What?
yeah, he was posing as like Jacques Ferrari just wanted to make the sale. He didn't really like
Sh-
do a whole lot of investigating. And he sold it to like a Chechen army. and they've already killed Jacques. He
Oh,
is dead. He's rotting in Allendale somewhere. But they
oh
had to like
no.
finish the job with the only other person who was there, and that was you. And they shot you in the middle of your forehead, and you fell back onto the stage. And the peach from the giant trophy landed right on your fucking balls, and
No.
it smushed them, and you were just in incredible pain, and then you fucking
Oh,
died right there.
no. No. Oh, Jacques.
Yeah.
Golly, you
Yeah.
really fucked me, Jacques.
Jacques was watching that show Girls, and he was jacking off in a recliner, and somebody came in and just cut his throat. Yeah.
Did the show Girls?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Oh
He
man.
was an interesting guy.
He was in yeah, he was interesting, I guess, but fuck. You man. Well, I won the award at least. Like I was the juiciest peach.
Yeah. Your balls got busted by the
Yeah.
peach, smushed like grapes.